Hey, welcome to Bourbon and Badges Podcast. I am Hound Dog along with my cohorts. Is that right? SLO Ride cohorts? SLO Ride Rodinator and the Doby Dawg.
Partners in crime.
Double D.
Hey, we got a familiar face back. Old Rodinator's back with us.
I thought YouTube fired you, Rodinator. That's what happened. Using YouTube jail.
There goes the neighborhood again.
We posted your bond. You're out of YouTube jail, so
the neighborhood brightened up when I was gone. Now all of a sudden it's back as a damn ghetto
like
again.
A dark
man.
cloud.
We tried to help you out and kind of get some rants, but we couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, we couldn't quite get it nailed down. As
I saw the show, man.
We made a good effort.
I saw the show. It was a good show. Good show.
Yeah, man. All our listeners kept saying, I don't know what, keeping my finger on what it was. Man, it was probably the best show I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. And the monitor said, hey, not one curse word. I guess we know who the problem is there.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, forgot to turn my light on. Look at there.
Oh, man.
There we go.
Light it up. Oh, there you
go.
Perfect.
We can't have you not looking bright.
My bright and sunny disposition.
I tell you, these lights we used for the podcast probably the bright thing about us.
yeah, brightest bulb in the room is the bulb.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm going to start it out tonight before we get... Oh, go ahead. What are we covering tonight, Rodinator?
We're covering a bunch of stuff. It's not funny, but
it
it's
is
funny. You gotta laugh at shit. I got a Florida teacher caught naked with sex toys in his kid's classroom.
Okay, well, back up. Didn't you just get back from Florida?
I did.
So you mean you personally caught this, or you actually seen it on like YouTube?
When do you have to go back?
However,
yeah.
Are you allowed back?
That ain't me. Trust me. Okay.
When's your first appearance?
There's no extradition.
So I will talk about him. I want to touch base on the Daniel Perry case, the one in New York. That's the subway. Got Hero.
Yeah, really.
The hero.
I call him a hero.
Oh, absolutely.
He's going through a fucking rough time because of that Alvin Bragg dickhead. Yeah, I'm back. Dickhead. Up there charging him for saving the lives of countless people, possibly.
True.
Then third
no
one,
doubt he did.
Yeah, and then third, I got a good time story. Good feeling story for the holidays. A former homeless man has just become a police officer. He turned his life around, and after a couple of years, he went from homeless on the street, the usual things, sleeping in alleyways and stuff. He's now a police officer.
So wakes up drunk in alleyways.
Yeah, he still lives in the alley, but I'm kidding. No, he turned his life totally around. It's
hey, good for him.
Story.
Yeah, man, we need a Hallmark story. That's a Hallmark story, man.
What's that?
We need that.
It doesn't have to go anywhere for work. Just wake up, check on.
Just check on. Yep. So that's what I got. Anybody, what you guys got? You want to talk about the healthcare guy?
I got some bourbon news. Right. And besides the bourbon news, I got the United Healthcare CEO that got killed. They got a timeline out on the stuff of to his demise. It's pretty interesting. We'll touch.
Well, they're putting a lot of that stuff out right now. Normally keep a lot of that stuff to themselves because if somebody comes forward, they know.
But you guys know too, if they put out something, that means they're 3 steps ahead of that already.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
If they they put out he's on a Greyhound bus to Atlanta. I heard that they put that out probably 3 days after they found out. Yeah, and they're already down in Atlanta waiting for him, but they put that out.
Or he's
I think what they try to do, what we used to try to do is give the people a little bit of stuff so people in the area can look for him. Okay, he's heading to Atlanta. Yeah. People in Atlanta, this is what he looks, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we'll get that.
And there's a big reward too. Big reward, right? $50,000.
Oh, yeah. No.
Well, you better be glad it wasn't one of you guys.
10. I think it was 10. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd hold out. I'd hold out for more.
I'm waiting till 50. Yeah, I'm waiting for 50.
Yeah, I think it's 10.
I wonder if you could call him and say, "Hey, listen, I know what this dude is, but I want to give it up for 50."
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you barter with the FBI? I don't know. That might not be a good idea.
Hey, but for $25, I think I know where he's at. Would that work?
Yeah.
All right,
I'll tell you
guys.
What it was last Tuesday.
I have got the next month covered in bourbon for me. If I can't show that without me, it is Courage and Conviction. It's a little 4-pack that comes with the small whiskey, so none of it's bourbon.
Uh-huh.
And then it's done in different casts, and I'll cover each cast, each podcast. But I'm doing the regular Courage Conviction single malt whiskey, man. It's our shot of doing Scotch, I guess, for here in the United States.
Yeah.
Is that a North Carolina product, Steve?
Virginia, the Virginia Distillery.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Of course, 100% malted barley, so we'll see how that goes. It says aged 3 to 4 years, but man, that's awful light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Awful
it
white.
is.
Huh.
So, and
The
yeah.
longer it's aged, usually the darker it gets. Is that how it works?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Because it stays in the barrel long enough, more contact with the charred
Charred barrel. Yeah.
charred barrel. Yep.
Oh, check it out, guys. Woo! See the tree?
Oh, nice.
One of three.
Must
It's
be
time.
Christmas.
I love
Nice,
this time
nice,
of year.
nice.
There you go. My wife did a great job. Yep.
Hey, let me tell you, I'm out running around Johnson City, Tennessee today, and I had a lady at one of the stores say, getting released, says, Merry Christmas. I said, ma'am, I appreciate you saying that as opposed to Happy Holidays.
Yep.
Yeah.
She said, they'll have to fire me before I say
absolutely.
that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I'm definitely a Merry
Absolutely.
Christmas guy. And I don't need you to say I don't celebrate Christmas. That's not the fucking point. Just say
Yeah.
thank you. You
Yeah,
too.
Chris, it's not about you.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly.
It's the time of season. Cool. So what are we drinking, guys? I know Slow's
Yeah, man,
doing
mine's got
something.
scotch written all over it.
Oh, does it? Why is that? What are you smelling there?
Oh, you can definitely smell that barley. It's a little sweeter than what most scotches are, but you can really pick up that barley.
I'm drinking one with a little horsey on it tonight.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
man, look at Richie Rich over there.
Yeah,
Nice.
money bags.
No
Turtles
bottom
makes
shelf for you tonight,
it's a good
huh?
living.
I work in a liquor store, okay?
I'm doing Elijah Craig, guys. Elijah Craig.
Doing High West.
Okay, cool.
Oh, man, hey, all premium bourbons here now. Matter of fact, mine is $65 a fifth.
Oh, nice.
Here in,
This- I tell you, this is
well, I got these
pretty
little
decent.
gift things. Wasn't that much, but
Yeah.
Huh.
This one was like $40 a bottle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I bought this Elijah a while back. I'm not even sure how much they're running these days. You guys know? Elijah
Well,
Craig, Hound Dog?
The regular.
which Elijah
the
Craig
regular-
is it?
Is it the regular one or barrel proof or anything like that?
Small batch?
That's probably right around $55, maybe somewhere along
Yeah.
there.
Small batch, 94 proof.
Yeah, that's about sounds about right.
Man, this malt whiskey is very fruity on the nose, kind of butterscotchy maybe.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of definitely not a bourbon. It's a whiskey, but we'll see.
Yeah.
This
Well,
one's
on
kinda-
that one,
This one's kind of like, it says a caramel and vanilla, and I can kind of pick up the vanilla nose on it. It's supposed this one was different. It's supposed to say rich and earthy on the palate with well balanced flavors of candy corn, honey nougat, sweet cornbread biscuits.
oh, I love me
Finished
some
vanilla
biscuits.
with a hint of caramel,
I like
apple, and
Mexican
pecan
cornbread.
pie. It's solid. It's a 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% barley. It's
You like
a
it?
92 proof, I believe. It's a daily drinker. It's about $40 a bottle. It's made in Utah,
And you like it?
but I can taste the kind of the caramel and the spice to it. It's pretty good.
What was the Buck always say? Carmel? What Buck always
Caramel,
say?
caramel.
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 So I had one picked out for the show that I was going to use it, but I left it at my buddy's house and he went home, so I just picked up one. This one I had, but
Are you guys pecan guys or pecan guys?
pecan.
Pecan.
Pecan, yeah. Pecan.
Yeah.
I don't
I
go
tell you what,
pecan.
I got
I
some
don't go
buddies.
pecan.
I got some buddies from Lower South Carolina. They used to go to canine trials with. When we go to test their dogs and compete with their dogs. They were from the lower part of South Carolina near Aiken, and they were the bomb plant they worked for Department of Defense, and they'd have their dogs to basically bomb dogs. And I'm telling you what, you probably remember Calvin Jeffcoat, Steve. Older guy, really good. Always had really great dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's pecan, and you better say pecan to him because he is something about it. It is pecan.
Tell me a little bit, Doug, what you're talking about. We went to qualifications and certifications. That was reaching 2 for us.
Yeah, we used to go to United States Police Canine Association. We're certification trials for our dogs, and we had to do that in order to maintain our certification because the state of North Carolina and a lot of states don't. Now I think Ohio, Florida, and some other states do now, but the state itself does not set a set standard for what your dog has to do and can't do. You could put your basset hound in the back, and it would, according to state standards, it would be okay. Now your departments, they override that and set their own standards. So we judge them on their bite work, on how they bite, release, come back to you, and all these kind of things. But Calvin worked for, and he was a phenomenal guy, worked for Department of Defense for the bomb plant. And he would always compete with us, and his dogs were top notch. It was him. He was always in the running for top dog, which high score, perfect score 700. And 490 was a passing score, and over 500 was national qualifying. Calvin's dogs were always in the 680s, 670s, but he was always in the run along with Brian Russell from Charlotte. They're always just top notch.
And don't sell us short. We always had a top 3 dog.
Oh yeah, we had some top dogs. Jeff Ford and Jason. Those some great dogs. And there's always, and I will try not to go down too much of a rabbit hole, but when it comes to the certification process, there's this. It's kind of like qualifying with your handgun. You have to maintain a minimal score to be operational, to be able to put your dog on the road and work. If you don't meet that standard, you can't.
Bless you.
Thank you, sir.
So the thing about it, there's always been this balance, and some people go one way with the others. It's how much is a competition and how much is, for show, and how much is realistic street type stuff. But I will say this, with our dogs and Brian's, Rocky's, Lewis that worked for CMPD Charlotte Mecklenburg, and our dogs, we had high scoring dogs. But all of them had high scoring, but they were also solid, top notch street dogs. They had a really good balance. They weren't just show. And some people would get accused that it's just a show dog. It's just a robot. What can it do on the street? Because can it really do what it needs to do on the street, or is it just for looks? And we were always fortunate. We had across the board solid.
Yeah, good deal.
Yeah.
Cool.
How about that?
But that's the whole story behind Pecan.
How about that for Doby Dawg? That's dogs.
Big ass story behind Pecan.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out how you pronounce the shit.
Holy
It's not liver
shit,
much,
man.
It's not liver much.
All right, I got something I want to show everybody right quick. We got sent this to us in the mail, and it is Nose Your Bourbon. Bourbon nosing kit.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And that's
Yeah.
nose,
Pretty ingenious.
N-O-S-E.
Yeah, it is,
N-O-S-E, nose your bourbon.
Chris with the Nose Your Bourbon place. He's the founder and CEO of this. Comes with a little card. You can't really see it, but comes
There
with
it
a
is.
little
There you
card.
go.
There
Yeah,
it is.
sit there.
And on the back, it's got a nosing wheel. All right.
Oh, okay.
And it comes.
You actually put your nose to that wheel, or how's that work?
No, you put your nose to these things right here. It's got different flavors or whatnot in it, or smells. Anywhere from vanilla to rye to cinnamon, just all, there's about 15 of those things in there, I guess. And he sent that to us, wants us to give it a try. I'm going to work on that over the next couple of days, and maybe sometime in the very near future we'll have him on the podcast and go over this. See how he comes about.
That's pretty ingenious. So it's not a one-time shot deal. You can use them over and over and over.
Over and over and over. Yep, absolutely.
They're just basically what I just saw is
Okay.
you have like a bunch of different smells in those little jars, right?
Yes, let me pick, let's see here now.
For people just listening, like there's a lot of little
Here.
jars and they have a certain smell in each jar, like
You can see that.
the
It
one,
says
tobacco. Yeah.
tobacco. And it's got
Yeah.
actually
So
got
you-
tobacco in it. If you can
Right,
see.
and
So do you smell the tobacco and then smell the bourbon, or how does
No, you
that
smell.
work?
You get.
How about-
From my understanding, you get kind of get used to the smell,
Right.
and then you go to your bourbon and smell, see if you can pick up the notes that you get off of
so-
these.
What you're doing is you're educating your palate. Or your
You're educating your
your
nose.
Your nose.
To,
Yeah.
to you're training yourself. You know how we used to, like David just talked about doing dog training. You just
Yeah.
train your nose to
Yeah.
learn the different smells of this stuff.
Well, that's cool.
So
You know what's
we'll
How
be
much
going
does
into
that
more.
kit run, Hound Dog?
Do what?
If you were to buy that kit, how much does it cost?
I think they're different prices. I think this particular one here is probably. I think I looked that up and it's like $70, something like
Excuse
that.
me.
So,
Yeah, it's kind of
but
cool. 'cause
I'll
I
get
can't-
it. I'll get familiarize myself with that, later date and go more into detail with it.
yeah, man. That's
I have
something
a
like
question. Slow could probably get that on his Knobs Creek sponsorship.
Oh yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
could.
probably could.
Oh, I don't have a bottle on the table. This guy's looking for one.
Yeah, because I have trouble describing the smells, so that'd
Yeah,
be perfect for me.
I thought about. That's what I thought about you, Rod. Whenever he sent it to me, but I'd be more than happy to send it to you. And let
He got
you,
a box of stuff that smells. He thought about you, Rodinator.
A lot of smells in here. Probably right to you.
There's so many of them. There's so many of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
yeah.
one like this one, that's the first time I've ever seen a sweet cornbread biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never heard whiskey bourbon described like that. Yeah.
But looking forward to doing that.
That'd be good.
Odor is in the beholds in the nose of the sniffer.
That's it. That is it.
Well, there's some logic in that.
Where's that? I'm not surprised.
Man, this is very weak scotch.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's good.
Does it have that peaty taste to it?
It's not very peaty at all, but it's there. The barley certainly pops on it. But it's just like a little more sweet.
To be honest with you, maybe once or twice.
I'd give it a brand new thing on the podcast. I would give it a 5. 5 out of 10. 7 daily drinkers. So I would not be a daily drinker for me.
Okay.
I'd say mine would be about a 7. It's not great, but it's solid in the price. I don't know the availability of if you can get it other places other than here, but it's pretty decent.
All right.
Nice.
Let's get into some police stuff, man. Y'all, what you got? Do you want to tell that story? Do you want to tell that story, Hound Dog, about the producer giving you a hard time, and now you're giving me a hard time in the pre-podcast meeting? He's looking. He got a blink.
Yeah. Did we talk about something like that in a pre-podcast meeting?
Yeah, we were talking about when we're going to podcast tonight, and you guys decided to podcast early, and I'd already had gone to Johnson City. It's about a 45-minute drive one way to get to Johnson City from here, Tennessee, and you just bust my chops for not being prepared for the podcast.
So all right, so here's what it boils down to. We're trying to decide what time we're going to podcast. I wanted to go a little bit earlier because Jerry Millwood's going to have a live event tonight for his the strange and unexplained phenomena of South Mountains, North Carolina. And I just want to watch it, check it out when he's on live. And so I said, how about 6? And Rod tells this story better than I can, even though it was a conversation between me and Doby. But
now set the stage. Doby is 1 hour behind the three of us.
Yeah.
I'll give you the play-by-play. I'll read the damn thing again if you want me to. That's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. In fact, okay, I'm going to do it just because you guys
keep in
brought it
mind,
up.
in Alabama, Doby is in different time zone than we are, 1 hour behind us.
Right.
Go ahead.
I'm in a different world.
But it's simple. Doby's 1 hour behind us. That's it.
Yeah.
So if it's 6 o'clock here, it's
Could be I was driving. Well, no what?
This is how I'm going to play
it's
by
different
play.
times. It's different time stamp if you're driving.
Holy shit.
Okay, this started the whole shitstorm. What time we podcasting tonight? That always starts some shit.
That was slow.
And these are texts, right?
That was slow. Yeah, it's a text.
Yeah, earlier today, but probably before noon.
Yeah, it was 12:28. So I got the record right here, my friend. So.
Way to fact check.
So what time we podcasting at 12?
Kick it in again.
At 12:28. Reggie, doesn't matter to me. I'd like to check out Jerry's live episode tonight at 8 o'clock. But if y'all want to podcast, then it's fine with me too. So Reggie's wide open. Steve, I'm good anytime. Slow ride. And I put me too. I kind of just chime in once in a while because I know you guys are going to go through like a plethora of shit before my final answer comes. So I'm like eating popcorn, You ever see that meme of watching two people go back and forth and eating popcorn? So then Doby Dawg, I'm good anytime after 4, my timetable. Reggie, how's 6 our time, 5 Doby Dawg time? Doby Dawg, 5 y'all's time? Reggie, that's 5 your time, 6 our time. Y'all are 1 hour ahead, so anytime after 5 your time. And Reggie goes, isn't that what I said? And then I wrote, you guys sound like a bunch of fucking retards. That was my quote.
Like that's news to our viewers and listeners.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So then I summed it all up, and this is how it ended. Reggie said 5 o'clock Doby Dawg time, 6 o'clock our time, and that would be after 5 o'clock our time. So it's that simple. And then we ended it there. But it was just the back and forth. And
But we're here.
And before it all ended, I asked my wife, Bobby, said, will you read this and let me know if I'm missing something here? And she read it. She said, no, you're not missing anything. Doby is missing something.
It reminded me of the Albin and Costello bit. Who's on first? Who's on second? or whatever. Yeah, it was like, I'm just watching this. I'm watching this go by. I'm like,
it's like that train wreck. You can't help.
Yeah, I'm just watching it, and it just continued. It was funny. It was funny as hell.
And that was with no alcohol.
Yeah,
absolutely stone sober.
Yeah, it was stone cold sober.
That's the problem right there. There you go.
That's it.
It would have been better if somebody hadn't been sober.
Yeah. All right. We ready? I want to talk about this weirdo here. This guy right here. So, a Florida teacher caught naked with sex toys and marijuana in an elementary classroom. His classroom. So, a Florida teacher, apparently this guy is a teacher, but he's homeless too?
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, so what he did was he thought that he would break back into the school during the Thanksgiving holiday because nobody's going to be there, and he can have a roof over his head for a few days.
And play
Play
with
with his turkey.
Okay, that's fine. But the weird part is he broke in, I guess, and he had a bag of sex toys, and he put them, it was all around him when the police found him in there. He's naked. He's got the kids
So I
mad
guess you
out
say
that
he's screwed.
I don't know what's going on. I hate to think what's in. He's teaching these kids too, like, the kids. This is his classroom. He's got the kids mat out apparently, and he was sitting on it, and
Naked.
naked, butt ass naked. When a cop came in, first thing he did, he jetted for the door. So, have you guys ever fought a naked guy on duty?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
twice.
And my guy was sweaty and had some blood, so it was a
Yeah, it's not fun.
the most
Mine got
disgusting.
dog bit.
Oh, dude.
I got
Because
dog bit.
you're just afraid your arm's going to graze balls or something, or something like that. Like, you just don't want anything to do with it. Anyway, so he runs for the door and runs the cop over, and they start having a fight. So all the cops having to fight this big, heavy-set, nasty, naked guy, right? So he finally gets him.
In the school.
Yeah, in the school.
Yeah, especially if they're
Probably-
sweaty, man. You can't grab a clothes. You normally grab all the
Yeah.
clothes or something.
Yep. So finally gets him under control. Go back in there, and there's some comments in the article that really, like, there were some really weird stains all over the kid's mat he was sitting on. Stuff might have been going on before they got there, and he's teaching kids in this classroom, and he's a teacher, and this is how they found him. So I don't know, if what's wrong with that guy right there, but in St. Port Lucie, is it Port Lucie? Does that sound familiar, guys?
Yeah.
In St. Lucie, St. Lucie. Yeah, Windmill Point Elementary. It's it's like a prep school. It's an elementary prep school, like a pretty hoity-toity, I guess. And they started asking him a question about what's going on. He said he's homeless, and he just broke into. Okay, we got that part. Like, you're homeless, but you got a bag of sex toys. Like, shouldn't you have shouldn't you have like a can of beans to eat? Or something, like, you should have food, clothing, the necessities, a toothbrush. Not a dildo. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no.
Oh, he had beans and franks.
Yeah, he had beans, all right.
Maybe he's going to the cafeteria.
What's that?
Maybe he's going to the cafeteria and eating.
Yeah. Oh my God. But anyway, just weird. It always seems to be in Florida.
Yeah.
The weird stories.
Speaking of that, speaking of that, Rod, there was another one. I didn't read the whole thing, but there was a guy in Winter Haven, Florida, just in the last few days. He's like 20 years old.
Right.
Cops caught him breaking into a house. And he was breaking in the house, he had a carpet cleaner with no pants on. And he said, and when they talked to him and questioned about it, he says, I don't remember doing it. I was high on methamphetamines.
Oh, there you go.
Really?
That was his excuse.
Damn.
Wow.
I'm not broke in because I was high.
Just to close this. Just to close this one.
And naked.
There's one little paragraph that Rod's story here. It's kind of weird. It said, the more it unfolded, the weirder it got. St. Lucie County Police Deputy Eric Holbert, who is one of the multiple deputies in the county who live on school grounds. So evidently they have somehow the deputies can actually live on the school grounds.
Like
true.
a courtesy officer kind of deal.
Yep.
Yeah, and I thought, well, that's kind of strange. So I guess that's how he came across him. He might have been on his nightly routine patrol.
Could be. And then I wasn't going to read this, but I'll read it for you. There's a large pillow that the kids sleep on. There was some sort of stain on it. He was naked when I saw him, Holbert said. And then, of course, they had the fight, but he's being charged now with lewd and lascivious behavior. So I guess they did witness something, or he did something. I don't know.
Okay.
Burglary of an occupied structure, marijuana possession, battery on an officer, and some other things. So he's in a shitload of trouble. He's now probably jobless too and homeless. But at least he's got his sex toys. So
I hope he does that.
Good stuff.
I hope he's not teaching now.
I mean, unbelievable, man. This kind of
that
guy's
the-
teaching kids. Unbelievable.
Now, had that happened in a sanctuary
In
state,
your office, slow.
if that happened in a sanctuary state, that dude, the police officer, would have been fired,
Yeah, probably for
And-
hurting him or
yeah.
sued or let go. Yeah,
and the
exactly.
bad guy would have been,
He'd probably
"Oh
get-
man, you did such a great job."
Yeah.
The officer would
Idiots.
have got charged for sexual assault because he probably accidentally grabbed his balls in the process of fighting him.
Yeah, dude, that's the
He would
that's the
flip it around.
worst.
It was something against him.
Naked people fighting is the worst.
Because it kind of like the same things when you're in your office there, Slow.
Say that again.
The same
Wake
kind
up,
of
Slow.
things in your office.
Hello. Hey,
Hello,
we're right
Slow.
here.
No, I just have a hard time
podcasting.
hearing.
We're
He's-
podcasting.
We're podcasting.
He's just these little. He's not quite as loud as the three of us. Say that again.
The stains that were in the chairs in your office.
Oh well, you talking about another sergeant?
Right, another sergeant.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do remember that.
well, what happened? What
Oh
was that
man.
about?
Well, I guess we can talk
Let
about
Slow
it.
tell this. He tells it.
Now I tell you what started it all. It started me inquiring about it. Internal Affairs come by and okay, the way it works is City of Gastonia, 2 sergeants share one office. You have your own desk, your own filing cabinets, but you share one office because you work opposite each other. You're never in there together. If I'm off, that particular sergeant's working and vice versa. Well, I'm at my desk one day, and Internal Affairs come by and he sticks his head in the door and says, "Hey, Sarge," says, "I can't tell you why, but clean everything on your desk, clean everything in the office. Make sure it's clean and sterile.
Did he tell you not to eat lunch on your desk?
Yeah, don't be eating in here." Oh, that's quite interesting. And he leaves me.
Right.
You know, 'cause they can't go into detail about internal affair issues, but it's nice enough to let me know, hey, you know, this is probably in your best interest to sanitize this office.
So
So
I know
got me-
I know my speculation, but did you ever find out?
Yeah, the supposedly another sergeant was going out picking up prostitutes, bringing them back to his office. We both work nights,
shit.
so generally speaking, the senior sergeant at night is generally the overall supervisor. So no one above our level as a sergeant is really there to keep us in check.
Right.
And then another sergeant was working over that particular night for another sergeant on that shift, and notices that this certain sergeant took a prostitute in his office and was in there for hours. Goes to Internal Affairs, and I don't know how much I can disclose in that, but he pretty much lays it out what he's been doing with these ladies. Yeah, I was wondering why my ham sandwich always kept sticking to my desk.
Oh my god.
What happened with the chairs, Slow? Did they all start moving them around?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was the new game. Who got his chair?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Hey, you know what you do?
Nobody knew who
You
had
take
the
you
chair.
take the old black light and put it on the chair. Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing about it is too, you know, it was card access. We're in a particular part of the building that had card access. Then you had to have card access to the sergeant's office. So you had to go through 2 card access to get to where we're at. So it's very easy to be back there and no one never knows you're there or can find you. If that makes sense.
Okay, I got a quick story that relates to that. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah.
man.
You good? All right. So I'm a sergeant, and one of the officers, one of my officers, was alleged to be having sex with a prostitute as well. There was an allegation.
He didn't come from
So-
Gastonia, did he?
No. No. So Internal Affairs, you know, of course, started investigating and / setting him up, right? So they take the girl that he usually has sex with, brings her in, gives her instructions on what to do. They said, go home tonight, get cleaned up, and then go, when he calls, just go with him. As soon as you're done with him, come back and we'll do a kit, you know.
She didn't come back.
Swab your hands.
Good Edinburgh. Good Edinburgh.
Just spit it in a cup, you know.
Jeez.
So I know the show just went way down.
That's PDNA, police DNA, PDNA.
Yeah. So long story short, they follow him on the tracker. They see that he picked her up. They see that he went to the same construction site. They did what they did, and then he leaves, and then they go pick her up right there, right where he dropped her off. So they take her back, and this is partially funny to me. They take her back and they swab her hands because she said She said, this part of me touched him, this part, that, whatever. And so they swab her hands, and they get 4 sets of DNA off her hands. And they go,
woman.
and they go, what happened? We told you to clean up. She goes, well, he was late. so she had like 3 other dudes.
Yeah, I got to pay rent,
Yeah, she had 3 other dudes come by. She hooked them up. Then she went with him. So they got his DNA too. But there were 4 sets of DNA on her hands and parts. I mean, it was crazy. And then of course, they called him in. They went to his locker, got her DNA off his pants. All that shit. Just he got fucking.
And let us say, the 4 of us, all in agreement, I can speak for all 4 of us, no one hates a bad cop more than a good cop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We tell these stories of bad cops. I don't mean every cop's bad, and we despise them as much as anybody does.
Exactly right.
More.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
Exactly right. And these guys, he was a good dude too, man. I liked the guy, Good guy. He had a wife and own kids. I mean, it just was like, fuck, dude, what are you thinking? Bringing that home,
no shit.
How about his wife? Now she needs to get tested and stuff.
Yeah, how do you break that news?
Terrible.
Yeah,
and how does the marriage survive? And you know what I'm saying? It's just it was terrible. And and then the next day he came in, and I had to meet him. You ever have to meet one of your officers and take their gun from him? That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks. And then I heard him
several times.
And then he was being interviewed in Internal Affairs, and man, he was balling. He knew he fucked up.
Kind of segued off that, Rod. I mean, I've had to do it a couple times.
Whoa, we talking about, Doby?
Taking an officer's gun.
Oh, okay. Scare me for a minute.
I've done it a couple times. That was dangerous, Doby Dawg. You said you'd done it a couple times.
Oh. Hey, what's them other 3 DNA samples?
Yeah.
This should come to Gastonia.
Initials double D on one of the jars.
Yeah.
Did I not realize who I was dealing with?
Hey, instead of double D, it's double dose.
Yeah.
10-10 on that one. So, anyway, but I had to help with one taking an officer's gun. And the officer had been there close to 20 years. And I was like, it sucked.
Hey, and think about this.
It was bad, but it wasn't like he was real crooked. I mean, he wasn't like this deal. I mean, it was something he should have done better. And I'll be honest with you, he did some things that he shouldn't have done, but it was also a sergeant at the time that was kind of got pissed off and took it personal and went headhunting him. And don't get me wrong, he was not being an angel, but it was one of those things where it wasn't like this type thing.
Yeah, majority of the time, though, when you do that, you can see it in their face. They know what's up.
Yeah.
They know. They know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this guy I was talking about was on 23 years at the time. I was on 8. I mean, no, I'm sorry, I was on 12. He had double time I had and just gone.
And
they said you could either resign or be fired, and then it's on your record, So they always choose to resign,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And less repercussion for the department if he resigns.
It's better for
another
everybody.
Thing too. Not only that, like I've had to do this, and I don't know if you had to do it, Rod. You probably had to do it slow, but you got to go to their house and pick up their stuff, all their stuff, and that.
I let IE do that shit. I had
to do that one for a guy the day before Christmas.
Oh Lord!
I tell you, a funny side note: we had an officer didn't show up for work for a couple of days, and I call him. He says, "I quit. All your shit's in the police car down at the cul-de-sac." Sure enough, we'll go down there. Every bit of his gear and everything's loaded up in his take-home cruiser, and that was it.
No shit. He just said, "I quit," and everything was in there.
Didn't call us anything. I called him. Said, "I quit, man," and all the stuff's in his car.
Nah.
Have a nice day.
Well, this is totally unscripted because we gone totally off rails here.
What was his deal? Was he a bad officer? Or was he probably
no? He was just fed up with the bureaucracy of everything. Just
Hey, is that the car that was parked in front of my old house?
Yes.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yep, I do.
Yeah.
He just had enough of everything, man. He finally said, "Screw it, man. I'm done."
I was holding my opinion, but that's kind of cool. Kind of cool in a way, right? Oh yeah, wait, yeah, no, it works out. Yeah, I fucking quit. By the way, all your shit's in the car.
Oh,
Yeah, but
not even in the yard.
At the time, he asked me if he could move in at my house, because he was going through some shit. I said, absolutely, man, come on. And a few days went by, and the patrol car still sitting out in front of the house, and I hadn't seen him. And Then, you know, then the next thing you know, here comes SLO.
Yeah, great fella, man.
funny.
He was just fed up with everything going on. You know, the internal
Here's another thing
bureaucracy
too.
stuff.
If I'm not mistaken, that same guy, he moved back up north. He moved up north, and then he came back. And I think he wanted to get hired again, and they said, "No, sorry."
It'd been
Yeah,
funny.
well,
Hey, yeah, man, your shit's still in the car down the cul-de-sac. Go get it.
Exactly. It's parked in
Yeah.
front of Hound Dog's old house. Still there. Yeah, that's what happens when you
Tires
burn a
on his own
bridge.
blocks now, but
Yeah. Can't burn
Yep.
bridges. But yeah, we got sidetracked. Who we got? You want to do about the healthcare guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about the healthcare guy for a minute. Oh, son of a mother. Hang on, let me pull it back. I'm texting Jerry Millwood at the same time if I look kind of distracted because I'm trying to get the lowdown on his stuff tonight.
Well, shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can go ahead and
Okay.
knock out Betty. You got it?
Yeah, I got it pulled up.
Okay.
So, you
And-
know,
and
everybody's
SLO,
heard.
I mean, excuse me, Hound Dog. Before we forget, before we leave, make sure I make sure I get that link where he's going to be on, so I can listen to it too.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell about it in a minute. But I guess everybody's heard by now the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson's, the hit that, I won't call it what it is, they got whacked, you know, in New York City, is a assassination. I will put it like that. And since this happened last Wednesday, they have come out and come up with a timeline of the attackers, you know, his whereabouts or his leading up to the attack and after the attack.
Right, and before you do that, Hound Dog, so folks, this guy was just walking in New York City. He was there for a meeting, and somebody walked up behind him. It's on camera, and shot him several times.
Yeah,
and that's
which
who Hound Dog's
insurance
talking about.
which insurance carrier was he with? He was the main guy.
United Healthcare.
United Healthcare CEO
Yeah, and the sidebar is
The
he
head
made
dog.
$10 million plus per year.
per year.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
insurance is making big bucks.
And also add for Hound Dog, you know, the bullet casings had those
yeah.
words on it.
Yep,
Deny,
I got 'em.
defend. Right. You going to talk about that too, Hound?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to get ahead of you. I just want to make sure. 'Cause some people don't follow the news. They might not even know the guy's dead. Big
Yeah,
deal.
true.
Go ahead.
But after, several shots were fired at this guy, hitting him twice, once in the leg and once in the back, which in the back it came through his chest, so it pretty much killed him on the spot. But they found the bullet casing like Rod was talking about. It says deny, depose, and defend on 3 different bullet cases. And they're thinking that that's coming from a book entitled Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It. That's the name of the book.
That's right.
Really?
So right away, we're all thinking this person who shot him, the motive was a grudge on insurance.
Yes, that's the way it's looking.
Okay, go ahead.
But like we said earlier, what we know now, the NYPD is 3 or 4 steps ahead of what they're putting out. So this is kind of old news, but it's interesting.
Right.
So on Wednesday, December the 4th, around 6 a.m., before the attack, the NYPD recovered a surveillance video of the Midtown coffee shop where it shows the attacker in a coffee shop, I guess, getting a coffee. That's at 6:14. At 6:40, surveillance video outside the hotel where the Thompson got ambushed. And let me try to scroll down. And if I'm missing something, Rod, just jump right in.
Well, I noticed
no,
you call Rod out, but you didn't call Hound Dog. Now we know stuff.
Well,
Yeah, we know you know.
okay, I did it right. I did it right.
Well,
I called the one
actually,
that
you
would
know why they got a picture of his face.
I thank you, Hound Dog. That's funny.
You know why they got a picture of his face? Because the coffee server talked him into showing
was-
his pretty smile.
He was flirting with her.
He was flirting.
Yeah, so he dropped it
Yeah.
off to show him. And he has a nice smile.
Always a woman. They're always going to get you.
No doubt.
Leave it to a woman to get you caught.
But at 7 a.m., it shows the gunman jumping after he shoots the guy. Gunman walking up the block, getting on a electric bike, and riding to the Upper West Side, which is about 30 blocks away from the crime scene. So he's trying to make distance.
But
You
he
know.
specifically,
Yeah.
he specifically went into Central Park.
Yes, they went into Central Park.
Central Park is a huge park in the middle, not just some little park where you could see one side to the other.
Yeah.
It's a huge wooded park in the middle of the city.
Yeah, it looks like if you ever see an aerial view of Central Park, it's wild because it's got all the buildings in a rectangle-shaped park. There's nothing but greenery.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Has a couple of lakes there, I think.
The what?
Has a couple. It's big. It has a couple of lakes there and things. It's a very big area.
Yeah,
You went Charlie Brown on us, bro.
Yeah. All right. But at 8 a.m., the gunman is believed to have entered the Port Authority bus terminal and was taking a train out of the state. So he went all the way through Central Park, which I don't know how far that is, Rod. Do you
Central
know?
Park is big,
I mean,
guys.
it'd take a while for him to do that.
It would take a little while. And just to cover some of your bases for you, Hound, they found his backpack and clothing in the park, so he changed. That's number one.
Yes.
Number
And
two,
a water bottle.
The water bottle with
Yeah.
DNA on it and the coffee cup. And he dropped his phone, his burner phone, in the alley. They got that too.
Yeah.
So, just
Oh,
let you
and
know.
in the backpack, I think, was a jacket and Monopoly money. Why in the hell would he have Monopoly money?
I read something. I can't remember. That stood for something. The Monopoly money had meaning. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, did it?
Maybe it had something to do with the Monopoly game. You know, the bankers and the healthcare.
Yeah,
Because there were
sure.
some healthcare cards you could pick when I used to play Monopoly with the kids. You know, there's like
Yeah, I can't remember
there could be
how it
something in
ties
there.
in, but it does.
So
Yeah.
Central Park is 840 acres.
yeah,
840 acres, Central Park.
Huge.
Wow.
dude, it's huge.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then later he jumps on a bus, is that, or a train?
Yes, bus.
He jumps on a bus heading to Atlanta, Georgia.
And just back way up, they have him on a bus 3 days a few days before the hit
Yeah.
from Georgia to New York. So he came from Atlanta, Georgia to New York, and then he's escaping back to Atlanta, Georgia, according to the police.
Okay, now,
Man, you can't hide.
granted, at any time that bus stops, he can get off that bus
Exactly right.
and go to another one or some other kind of mode of transportation.
That's exactly what I would do because they think I'm
Yeah.
going to Atlanta. I get off at the first stop, have a car waiting,
Yeah.
go the opposite way. You know
Exactly.
The problem he has, guys, and I don't want to interrupt you, Hound.
No,
Don't
go.
keep
No, you go
rolling.
ahead. 'Cause you go ahead.
The problem I have several things. They're asking if this guy's like a professional hit guy, and the only thing he did that he did fairly well is clear the gun. It jammed at one point on the video,
Yeah,
and he cleared
yeah.
it.
Yeah, he
All right,
stayed
so
very
that's-
calm during that as well. He didn't panic.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
anybody can clear. I mean, you know what I'm saying, people go to the range, you could figure it out. He made so many mistakes, but there's a couple things. One, the gun he had is very unusual, and it had that big homemade silencer on it. Did you see that thing?
Yeah.
The big suppressor. It looked
Suppressor.
like.
Yeah.
But they said it was like homemade or something. But between his phone, his DNA, his picture, I mean, his picture's clear as freaking day. At that bar at the place, he's got a very pronounced nose, a good smile, like you said. Somebody knows this dude. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
it's
somebody
just a
does.
matter of time. But with the DNA, if he's in the system, right, guys, he's caught. The phone, if he made calls to other people, family members, he's caught, right?
Yeah.
Or they're going to know who it is. He can run, but he's going to get caught eventually.
yeah,
This guy's
he-
going to get caught.
He was allegedly on the phone right before the hit as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
And the thing about it is, now, is he going to go quietly? Is he going to one of these guys to go out in a blaze of glory? That's the only thing That's the only thing we got. You know, like a
No,
Eric
he'll go.
Rubel kinda guy.
He'll go quietly, man. You don't sneak behind a guy and put a bullet in his leg and back. You know, if you got the balls, you'll look him in the face.
This
Well, that's
this
true.
my theory.
Well,
This is my thoughts on that.
and you might
Maybe
find
wrong.
him in the woods somewhere with a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
That's it.
My thoughts is kind of going along with what Hound Dog says, and I'm just going to blade conspiracy theory for a little bit. If it's somebody was funding him, he was doing it on behalf of somebody else that he doesn't want to know about, he'd be more likely to go out in a blaze of glory. But if it's just him, I think you're more likely to give up.
It
Yeah.
sounded to
He
me
don't
like
want to
it's
spill the beans on who's
Or
funding
a
him.
co-conspirator takes him out.
Correct.
True.
right. It sounds
That
to me
makes
like
sense.
it's
If he
personal.
thinks
though.
that,
It's personal.
like, you know, the kid in Pennsylvania, say it's that type thing, and I think at that point he was like, "No, I'll pay more hell if I get turn myself in, and then I'll just go out and blaze the glory to save myself."
But he went out of the way to lay those bullets down, to
Yeah.
show those words. He went out of his way to walk up. he could have sniped the guy from across the street with a scope.
Exactly right. Yes.
Oh,
And not been on camera anywhere.
He made
but
it
he
personal.
decided to walk up and it's to me. I think it's going to be a story where it's personal. He or his family was wronged. A family member died because of insurance or wasn't covered or something like that.
Denied a claim.
Yeah.
And that's why he's pointing to the book.
And he made eye contact.
Everybody. Yeah, he's telling everybody this is why this guy's dead because of this shit. That's what he's saying. So the motive is there. They just got to find out who's been wronged by the company. And there's thousands of people wronged by insurance companies every fucking day.
Every day.
So, I mean, but I wonder if there's somebody that's, if they have a list of fucking crazies, like a top list, like, man, this guy Hound Dog, man, he just won't let this go, blah, 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 blah. And he calls every day and he threatens us. Yeah, and he loves turtles. He's weird as shit, But, so I believe it's personal myself.
If the head turtle person comes missing.
Yeah.
And the
Don't
news
look toward
said,
me.
There's a picture of him.
Oh, yeah.
There you got it, the knapsack and stuff, you see?
Yep.
Yeah, so I want to get that picture of his face uncovered. I mean, it's bright.
yeah, the news said as well that I lost the train of thought right in the middle of the thing. Never mind.
I think I might have you got the picture of his face.
I do.
Yeah, hold it back.
White
I'll
it-
get
it's
this
whited
bright
out.
light off of it.
It's whited out. Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Not going to work? Fuck.
Yeah, we got to figure out how to put video on this
There you go.
podcast, man. I'm working.
There it
There it
is.
goes. Yeah,
There
that's
it
good.
is.
How's
That's
that?
Yeah, that's good.
Look at that. Look at the schnoz on that sucker.
Yeah,
He looks
yeah.
a little feminine,
Hey.
though, doesn't he? Does he look like a girl?
a little
Seriously.
bit. Yeah.
Kinda
Oh, you know
feminine.
what? I didn't think about that, but actually he
Kind
does.
of does. Now that you mention it, Rob.
Yeah.
If he's a guy, he's a pretty guy. He's kind of pretty.
No,
looking
so
like a
so
girl.
he'll do well in prison.
Ah.
So there you go.
Oh, yeah, he'd be a gangbuster.
He'll get sniped from behind as well.
What if that is a
He'll
girl
live stains
dressed,
too on his bunk.
what if that is a girl dressed like a guy for as far as disguise?
The only thing I could think of is the girl who gave him coffee would say no, it was a guy.
Yeah,
I guess-
she'll know. She had a conversation with him. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, no, I
then
was thinking
again-
this.
Oh,
Then
He
again,
was
we can't tell somebody's gender, so don't go there.
Oh, and we can't after January
I
20th.
forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, not till January 20th. Yeah.
And he was one of the only top executives at that dollar level that did not have security. That's what I was going to say.
And he made $10 million a year.
Yeah, 10 plus. Yeah,
lot of money.
a year.
Yeah, and So now, as a result of that, a lot of healthcare CEOs, they all have their pictures up on their websites. Hey, this Rodinator, he's the CEO of the company. All that shit's gone.
Yeah.
they took down their pictures.
I'd have one of your guys' picture up there.
Yeah, now they're hiding. Yeah. I put a picture of like Bugs Bunny in it or something. Yeah, they're getting my picture. But so now the CEOs are like, I don't really want to be in the spotlight. So
Let me make my
Yeah,
$10
rightfully
million
so.
a year. You go home.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Heck no.
You don't make $10 million a year being stupid.
No,
True.
No.
Very true.
Sure.
I just thought that was interesting to have the timeline folded out, and we'll see how it goes from here.
Oh yeah, man, and it's like, I lost you guys for a second too. So if I'm saying something you already said, guys, let me know. But yeah, generally police don't get a lot of information because if somebody comes up with information about the crime that the public didn't know about, they know this guy's for real. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna have a lot of timeline on this guy, and you can't hide anywhere from all the videos.
Right,
So I'm
right.
really
true.
would like to wonder what they already know about him. They're not releasing to the public.
Yeah. Very true.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, Rod, what you got, man?
I got something coming over my ears. You guys got something?
Yeah, I hear something.
It's a TV. Somebody's got the TV going.
Oh, I got you.
Doby's awful quiet.
We're disturbing Doby watching this TV.
hey, you said Bugs Bunny, and he turned on the cartoons.
That's all, folks.
Oh, Bugs Bunny. Ooh.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
All right, so Daniel Penny, he's the guy, folks, the subway guy in New York who put the gentleman in a chokehold who was threatening people with a knife on the subway. He said somebody was going to die, and him and some other folks restrained the guy. He had him from behind around the neck, while other folks, both white and black, were helping hold his arms and legs till they got to the next stop, which was approximately 6 minutes. So while he's doing it, the other gentleman, the victim in this case, so to speak, was talking to them. They were talking, Neely, his last name was talking. He just said, "Calm down." You know, they're talking to him, trying to keep him calm and all this
Now,
stuff.
is Neely the bad guy or the good guy?
Neely is the dead guy. Yeah, he's the.
I think he would. I wouldn't call him a victim. I would call the people on the train that he was trying to intimidate victims.
Sure.
Now this is it's a subway, right? So you're enclosed. You're not getting off for at least 6 minutes. You can't. There's nowhere to go. You can't get away from this bad guy. You can't get away from
No,
him.
you're on that stop,
Yep.
and he's women, children, everything like that. And during his court case, which has been going on, those people on the train all came up. And if you saw a picture, a couple of dry shots, he's got him in a hold, ahead. And there's a black gentleman holding one arm, another person holding the other arm, and somebody's on his legs. So I just have a quick question. So if he's getting charged with manslaughter, why aren't they? Aren't they all accessories to it?
Yeah, exactly right.
But they don't. You see, it's such a tainted system in New York.
Everybody knows it's got common sense. You control the head, you control the body.
Right.
Yeah.
But if his hand still had the knife, I mean, you got to make sure.
Oh yeah.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying. So anyway, and just for everybody to know that he didn't choke him to death on the train. When they got to the next stop, the police took custody of him. They took him to the hospital to check him out. He died at the hospital. Well, his toxicology report came back, and he had some drugs in his system. No different than our George Floyd podcast.
I was going to say George Floyd all over again.
Yeah, no different. So the latest thing that I don't know how they get away with this. So there was two charges. He can get a manslaughter charge, which was the higher charge, or he can get a lesser charge of like involuntary or something. I forget what it is. My point being is the jury is deadlocked. And most experts, I mean everybody, says this shouldn't have even been brought. It's self-defense, clearly. Because all the people on the train came and were witnesses for him. Daniel Penny, the guy who saved them. They were all witnesses to him. He did the right thing. He didn't do anything egregious. He did his best just to hold him down. He saved our lives. But the medical examiner lady comes in and goes, "Nope, I think the chokehold killed him." How do you say a chokehold kills somebody when the guy's not dead on the train? Like if I'm in a chokehold right now and then you let it go and I leave the house after you put me in a chokehold for 6 minutes, like on and off, just subduing me. I walk up the street, go to my house, and I die the next day.
And the toxicology shows all this stuff on board.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that chokehold might have contributed with the drugs because of the stress on his system, maybe. I don't know, but anyway. So they're just trying to twist this up a little bit. Anyway, so now the jury comes back deadlocked, which means there's some stupid ass on the jury who won't let this go, and I guarantee it's some woke ass liberal with a racial tinge to him because they're going to say a white guy killed a black guy. Here we go. It's not that. Yeah. It was a crazy man and a good man, and the good man stopped the crazy man from hurting other people. That's all it was. There was no color involved. The guy had 48 arrests in his lifetime.
Oh, yeah. And the only way to stop a bad guy is with a good guy.
Exactly right. So anyway, they come back deadlocked, and the judge says, nope, go back and consider more. They wanted things read over again, like the penalty for this, and what did you say? What were your instructions on that? And so it sounded like they were being very thorough, but it's like so obvious, like this shouldn't even be here. Like, so there's got to be somebody that's saying, nope. I guarantee it wouldn't have gotten a verdict. I think it would have been a hung jury, and it would have been it. But the judge decided there's two charges that he could charge him with, and they took the manslaughter charge, the higher charge, off. So now, and I have a problem with that because the manslaughter, when you take the manslaughter charge off, it's almost like you're giving the jury permission to convict them of the lesser charge. Does that make sense? Just to get just to
speed things up.
Right, and just to focus them in on one, because maybe some people are saying he shouldn't have anything, and maybe one guy's saying he should have manslaughter charge, but if not, by God, it's going to. It's almost like the judge is trying to make it so, almost like that pick that one. They narrowed it down to one now. So now the jury comes back Monday, doesn't have to decide which one. It's this one or nothing. I don't know. I just think it kind of it could hurt him. It could hurt him, in my opinion, because I hope not. But it could hurt him.
Fox News
make a decision.
Paints that whole thing as if the judge realizes maybe this shouldn't have been before him in the first place, and
I hope.
let's
I'm not in the courtroom. I'm not in the courtroom, so they probably know better because I got people in the courtroom.
Yeah.
But I don't think the judge.
you should be in the courtroom.
Nobody thinks this should have been brought to trial.
Oh,
except
you're
for
exactly
Alvin
right.
Bragg.
He should have got a
Yeah.
freaking reward
Yeah.
or
And-
award.
And the other victims and the other people in the train go to bat for him and testify he saved their ass.
Right.
Yeah,
Literally.
that's-
Still want to-
Literally. Like there's nobody saying he did anything wrong, except
the woke.
Alvin
the
Bragg.
prosecutor and the medical examiner. Those are only two.
Now get this: had he not done something, and that crazy guy killed or hurt somebody on the train, then they're going to argue he should have done something.
Or somebody should have done
Absolutely.
something. And then he probably won't get any time for a simple assault with a knife. Who knows? He probably won't get
Yeah.
time, Neely. He would have just. The guy had 40.
But here again,
guys, 42 arrests. 42.
Yeah.
Why
He
is
was-
he on the street in the first place?
Exactly.
And see, the thing
So,
about
and
this
then-
too
and then-
is, it's going to hurt
Right.
the next guy that's want to stand up and take control of something, keep somebody getting hurt,
Exactly
and not
right.
do it.
That's what I was going
And,
to say.
you know that kind of segues
Exactly what I'm
into
saying.
that kind of segues into the whole thing we deal with in law enforcement. Officers are hesitant to do stuff because
Sure.
they're afraid of
Yeah.
administration. They're afraid of the court.
Yep.
They're all that. And
They
what
drive that
happens,
into your
officers
head.
Get hurt and people get hurt.
They drive that into
They
your head in the
won't let 'em do
academy.
their job.
Liability, and then you hesitate. But for this thing, who's going to want to jump in and help? They're going to go, oh shit, I'm not going to get like Henry Perry.
Oh yeah.
I just,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
It's just
Unless
crazy.
he bothers me or my youngin right here, I'm done. He's on
Some
their
of these
own.
DAs, man. It's
But
DAs
I would
are
tell you
crazy.
this though: if it does bother them, my family, that's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
Of course.
100%. Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna handle my shit.
But
You're
yeah,
not gonna hurt my family.
but the way
period.
we're wired, we're inclined to help anyway. I mean, I know I
Right.
would,
Yeah.
but I mean, you know, but
Absolutely.
in New York, man, I'm telling you, it's just such a. And I
And
grew
some
up there.
people don't
I can
get
say
that,
this. I
though,
grew up
that-
there. That's where I'm from. It's such a shithole now.
Well,
It's just-
isn't
Some
the
people
same
don't get that,
DA
how
the
we're
same
wired
one?
to do that.
The DA is the same one that prosecuted Donald Trump.
yes.
Imagine
Imagine-
that.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yep. And it's the same one that doesn't prosecute everybody else. The black BLM riots.
right.
It's the same
Yeah.
guy. It's the same guy. Yeah.
Yep.
So the guy's
Oh,
defending
so-
himself while white. Is what it is.
He's defending a whole train
Yeah.
car, people. And if you've been on a subway in New York, you know those cars are you're closed in, man. It's like a cage match. If there's gonna be a fight, you ain't going nowhere. You're
And-
gonna have
and
to fight.
You're
And
gonna
there's
be in the
people of
middle.
all colors on those cars. It's not just all
Everybody.
white, not all black. This is Hispanic, Asian.
exactly.
I've been on those cars. So
And like I said, remember, guys, if he's guilty of manslaughter, those people that helped him hold him down are accessories. But he didn't
Yeah.
charge them.
Good point. Good point.
Why? This thing is full of appeal holes. But he shouldn't
yeah.
have to go through this shit.
No, you're
agree.
exactly right.
And the
That's the
jury,
thing.
the jury should have been back in 1 minute. They should have went to the jury room and said, "This is horse shit," and then went
Wasting
right
our
the
time.
fuck back in there and said, "Not guilty. Sorry to
even
take up
so,
your time."
even so, he's not guilty. He done everything right. He done what he should have done. He's done what we'd want him to do if our family members owned that train, but yet he's paying tens of thousands of dollars in attorney fees to prove his innocence.
Yeah.
Not
That's
prove
the
it.
thing,
Not
gotta
for them to
go
prove his
along
guilt. He's got to prove his innocence.
Yep.
Right.
That's got to go along with slow. I mean, he may be cleared, but look at what he's had to go through.
Exactly.
The mental stress, the
And
money.
the piece of shit's family has already sued him.
Had to go through in the first place.
And that's right. And the mother and father, who kicked the kid out long ago and has nothing to do with him, are now suing Daniel Perry.
Ching, dollar
For
signs.
his
That
son's
little,
death.
Yeah.
that little piece of shit's gonna bring us some money.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you this, and kind of going off of what you're saying, Slow. It's been probably about 2 years ago. Some of the guys in Gastonia, and they stop a guy in a car who's a suspect in 2 real recent armed robberies. And so they stop him. He starts to get out of the car. They end up getting in a shootout. Nobody's hit. Guy goes on. Cars get shot up. He goes on. And so when they ended up interviewing him, his comment was, "Well, I knew my family would get paid." Now, probably not to say that, but that's what he said.
Yeah.
That's
he's probably
what
right.
These
He
folks
knew
think.
that even if the officers were justified, means they were allowed and legally to shoot this guy because he's shooting at them, his family's still going to get money for it.
And they probably still got
That's
money
pretty,
for it.
pretty much just plain jacked up.
Looked into, they probably still got money for it.
And the people on the street, when I used to patrol, I don't know about you guys, but they would call that Like when somebody gets hurt, one of them gets hurt and they sue and they get millions of dollars, they call it the ghetto lottery. You ever hear that term?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
If you have a crazy uncle or something, there's always hope. He has a run in with the cops. And he gets himself killed. And then all of a sudden, all the family members that had nothing to do with him for years come out. Oh, he was such a good guy. I'm suing you for $10 million.
It's not like they're going to use that money to better themselves.
Yeah.
Hey, well, it's an excellent segue there, Rodinator. Because this ghetto brothers, it's time to get out of the guy here. Any last, anything else we want to talk about that we need to, that's depressing? We can't wait till next podcast? Or?
Nah, we got plenty of stuff for next. There's crime going on all the time, bro.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, it kept us gainfully employed for 30-plus years, all of us.
I'm not complaining. Yeah.
It sure did.
Helps me draw a check.
All right, man. Any last shouts or any that boys?
Yeah,
get out?
one quick thing. Jerry Millwood's special going live tonight in 15 minutes. By the time this comes out, it'll be old news because,
it already been done
tonight. But the title of his live episode is called "A Strange and Unexplained Phenomenon of South Mountains with Kaiser Rebel."
Rebel.
So make sure you
So
check
what's that
that out.
link or however you get to watch it, Reg?
It's on TikTok. Just
Hound Dog?
pull up TikTok and pull it. Type in.
Okay.
Just type in Kaiser Rebel.
I got that. I got him on TikTok, but that's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
So, looking forward to checking Jerry out. And by the way, he said tell every one of y'all that he said hello, and he's looking forward to seeing
good
us
deal.
again.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the show up
Return.
some point.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Back on the show at some point. I've got one shout out.
Good.
Go ahead, Doby
Goes
Dawg.
out to my wife Angie. Today's her birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Angie!
Happy Amber
Got
birthday there,
HIV.
Angie.
She's a
Happy
phenomenal
birthday.
lady and
She's famous now. You just made her
famous.
famous.
She's YouTube famous. But
She got a
Angie
call
knows
out.
Today's her birthday.
All our
So
fans.
I can't complain. Great to me. Couldn't ask for better.
Good.
Oh,
And
one more
imagine
shout
a
out.
cop married a nurse. Imagine that.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
All
Thanks
right,
for
all right, Hound
reminding me
Dog.
of it.
One shout out per podcast.
One more shout out. My wife and I had our anniversary this past week, and just
Oh,
happy
you just trying to
anniversary
save
my wife.
grace now, man, because Doby
yeah,
beat
you're
you
right.
to it.
You're right.
Why
right.
didn't you say anything about our anniversary?
Yeah.
You son of a
Yo.
bitch.
Doby Dawg, he's thankful.
Can y'all hear her?
Absolutely.
Because that's exactly
I will
what
say
she
this,
said.
too. Since I've had the surgery on my
How did you
hand,
know?
I will say this too. Since I've had my surgery on my hand, I mean, she's been amazing, and not to mention, that nurse comes out there and is like, "I shan't elevate your head, take it." So,
Well,
Yeah.
think about
Oh, yeah.
thing about this, Doby Dawg.
knows
Since you
I'm
got your hand
wholehearted,
all messed
probably
up,
do something
you
stupid,
kind of
so
need her.
She keeps me alive.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
good way.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
You know that'd be stupid.
All right, I got one shout out, man. You guys, Jim Anderson called me yesterday, the day before this podcast, just out of the blue. I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years, just to shoot the breeze and catch up on things, and just let our listeners know if you were a detective in North or South Carolina during Jim Anderson's time, you knew who Jim Anderson was. He was probably one of the best detectives.
Oh, yeah.
Period. Especially in North South Carolina. And man, he was a cat's meow, and it was nice catching up with him. And he's gonna come up and visit. If he does, we'll get him on this podcast.
Oh, awesome.
That'd be good.
Sweet.
I like to hear from old Jim.
Yeah. All right.
Rodinator, any shout outs?
Just keep in mind, Rooster and Gastonia, guys. I went out last night, had a great time. Saw 3 bands, $10 cover. Awesome place, right there across from the Peter
You
Wheel
should
and
be
the
getting
post
him
office.
free, all this publicity you get him.
I know. And we try to get Michael on, the guy who owns it, Mike Carpenter, someday.
Good.
All right, guys, if you like what you see and you like what you hear, please leave us a positive review. Please hit that subscribe and like button. Give us some love, man. We need all the love we can get. Drink
And as always-
responsibly as well.
And this has been a Studio 77 production. Oh, let's drink about it.